Ethan Cole had always believed cities glowed differently depending on who was looking at them. To tourists, London was a shimmering constellation. Bridges lit like polished steel, the Thames folding the lights into dazzling ribbons. But for Ethan, on most evenings, London felt heavy. Not dark, just heavy, as though every shimmering light carried the weight of someone's ambition, regret, or unspoken dream. That Tuesday evening, as he crossed Waterloo Bridge, all he carried was confusion. He shoved his hands deeper into his jacket pockets. The cold breeze scraped across his cheeks, but he barely felt it. His mind wouldn't stop replaying the last hour. The meeting, the offer, the stunned silence, and finally, the question that still rang in his head. Ethan, are you willing to relocate to New York in 2 months? 2 months, after 8 years of building a quiet, predictable life in London, after years of avoiding risks and living within carefully drawn borders, after convincing himself that stability was enough, he stopped walking and leaned on the railing. The skyline in the distance pulsed like a heartbeat, constant, alive. He imagined New York's skyline, bigger, brighter, louder, a city that swallowed doubts whole. But the offer wasn't the only thing tugging at him. There was someone else, someone who'd slipped into his life like dawnlight under a door, Anna Carter. He closed his eyes, letting the thought settle. She was the reason London had started to look softer recently, warmer, less intimidating. And he hadn't even told her about the offer yet, the unexpected light. Anna lived in Shoreditch, a place that vibrated with murals, street music, thrift shops, and neon signs that buzzed even in the rain. Ethan always joked that her neighborhood felt like the inside of an artist's imagination. Her flat was small, filled with mismatched furniture, half-burnt candles, and Polaroid photos clipped to strings like tiny, glowing flags. She said it made her feel alive. He said it made her room look like it was telling a story. By the time he reached her door that evening, his heart was pounding so loudly he thought the neighbors might hear it. She opened the door with her usual bright, messy energy, hair in a loose knot, paint on her sweater, eyes too soft for this world. "You look tense," she said, pulling him inside. Did the meeting go badly? He hesitated. Not badly, just surprising. Anna waited, eyebrows raised. "I got an offer." Her face lit up. "Ethan, that's great. It's in New York." The light dimmed a little. Not gone, just gentler, unsure. "Oh." He could see her processing it, stitching understanding to worry. "New York is huge," she murmured. "And far." "Yeah." 2 months, she guessed. He nodded. A silence lingered between them, weaving itself into the space like a third presence. Then she exhaled softly and smiled, not forced, but gentle. "You deserve good things, Ethan, and you're allowed to want more." "But what if I don't want more?" he blurted. "What if what I want is here?" Her expression softened. "Ethan," he swallowed. I've only just started figuring things out. With work, with myself, with us." That made her blush, and he felt a crack of warmth break through his anxiety. "Let's not decide tonight," she said finally. "Come inside. We'll talk over tea." Something in her voice felt like home. He followed her in. Cracks of tomorrow. Tea brewed. Rain drummed the windows. A soft indie playlist hummed in the background. But Ethan barely tasted his drink. "You know," Anna said, tracing her finger along her mug's rim, "I always admired people who could leave everything behind, who could pick a city and start again. You could, too." She laughed quietly. "No, not me. I get attached too easily. To streets, to people, to the way light looks in certain places. I'd miss London too much." Her honesty stung him in the most tender way. "So, where does that leave us?" he asked quietly. She looked up, eyes steady. "Ethan, I like you a lot, maybe even more than I should. But your life can't revolve around me. Not this decision. But you matter, and so does your future." He hated how calm she sounded, like she'd already accepted he might leave, like she'd already prepared her heart for it. And maybe she had. The decision that wouldn't decide itself. The next days dragged like slow-moving fog. At work, Colleagues congratulated him as if he'd already accepted the offer. Emails from HR pinged his inbox. The project outline for New York arrived, along with a message that read, "We look forward to having you on board, pending your confirmation." Pending. Everything felt pending. He spent his evenings with Anna, walking through the city, lingering in cafes, visiting art exhibitions, watching movies in her dim-lit living room. But even when they laughed, he could feel the countdown ticking. One evening, while sitting on a bench near Regent's Canal, Anna suddenly asked, "Ethan, what are you afraid of?" He stared at the water, unable to lie. "Losing you." She inhaled but didn't turn away. "That's not fair. You're making this bigger than it is." "It is big," he insisted. "It is," she agreed softly. "But losing yourself is worse." He didn't respond. After a moment, she reached for his hand, not with urgency, but with quiet certainty. "You'll make the right choice," she whispered, "even if it hurts." What London tried to tell him. 2 days before the deadline, Ethan found himself wandering the city without intention. The sky hung low in silver, promising rain but never delivering it. He walked from Covent Garden to Soho, letting the rhythm of footsteps on pavement anchor him. He watched strangers laugh outside cafes, rushing cyclists weaving through traffic, the city pulsing with 1,000 small stories. London, for all its heaviness, felt alive in a way he suddenly understood. At Piccadilly Circus, an elderly man selling watercolor paintings called out to him. "Looking for something, young man?" "Maybe," Ethan admitted. "Not sure what." The man chuckled. "People only get lost when their heart moves faster than their feet." Ethan blinked. "I've been painting this city for 40 years, the man continued. "Some people see noise. Others see opportunity. But the smart ones," he held up a painting of the skyline at dusk. "The smart ones look for where their soul feels the least alone." The words struck him like a quiet thunder. Before he left, the man added, "Whatever you choose a place where your heart doesn't have to shout to be heard." Ethan thanked him and walked away with a strange clarity beginning to bloom in his chest.